Have you ever had a bad attitude at work? Hi, I'm Brian Amrine with Value Driven Analytics, here today to talk to you about the importance of having a good attitude at work and how you can make sure you do just that. You know, it only takes one incident of sarcasm or outburst to ruin your reputation for weeks, months, even years. You might be the best analyst with the highest level of analytics methodology, the highest level of rigor. You're fast, you've got a great attention to detail, good communication, but if you have a bad attitude, it can get in the way of your career trajectory like nothing else will. You know, if you're a people manager, there's even higher implications. Your team, their attitude may actually be impacted by a bad day that you're having. You can cause them to potentially have a bad day as well. So it's extremely important for your own career trajectory and your team's attitude to have a good attitude at work. Now, sometimes it may not even be that you're having a bad attitude. It may be that it's misinterpreted. Something you said was misinterpreted as having a bad attitude. Perhaps it's an email or an instant message, and someone takes it the wrong way. So if there's any doubt that that could potentially happen, it's better just have a quick call, whether it's virtual or an in-person meeting, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page and no one misinterprets anything. So look out for that. Now, maybe your struggle with a bad attitude is isolated to a particular day. Maybe there's something happening, could be at home, it could be at work or anywhere else, something that's causing you to just be a little down. Now, that's understandable. People understand that you're not always going to be up and happy, and that every now and then you'll seem a little down, and that's okay. People understand that. But when you let your attitude impact how you respond to others at work, that's when it can start to have an impact on others and your career. So when you're tempted to have bad attitude at work, one thing that I'd recommend is to remember the very reason that you go to work in the first place. You know, for some people it might be the fact that you want to provide for your family. Remember that, whatever it is, come back to that reason, and that can put things in perspective. Now, sometimes you may even come back and go a level deeper than that and remember, what's my whole reason for living in the first place? For me, it's the hope that I have that eventually, someday, Jesus is going to come back for anyone who trusts in him and take us to a place called heaven where there will be no sickness, no pain. We won't struggle with the types of things we're struggling with on that given day. And the fact that he's given us a helper, the Holy Spirit in the meantime, that can give us advice for how to get through and help us emotionally get through today's challenges. So that's something that puts everything in context for me. And whenever I remember that, it helps me get through that time. Now, it could be the case that you are repeatedly struggling with your attitude at work. It's happening day after day. And you're starting to wonder, is this the right place for me to continue working? Now, that's a good question to ask. You need to address your attitude because it's so important. Before you throw in the towel, remember all of the benefits and the blessings that come with your current role. Your team, maybe the flexibility, the opportunities that you have for growth eventually that might not be there yet, your compensation, your benefits, and so many other things. It's very easy to take these things for granted. And you might leave that role and think back later, probably didn't appreciate those things as much as I should have, and I made a bigger deal about the challenges that I was facing at that point and forgot about some of the blessings that I'd been experiencing for years or months in that role. So make sure you really think it through and don't take things for granted. Now, if you've done your due diligence and you have determined that there is no way that you can have a good attitude in your current role, then it might really be time to move on. You're not doing anyone any favors by staying in a role where you're going to have a bad attitude over and over. It's not going to help your career trajectory. That will be a blocker no matter how good you are in other aspects of your role. And even if you're contributing at a high level from an output perspective, again, it's likely that if you're having a bad day, you're impacting others around you as well. So it's probably better just to move on. Now consider maybe there's another role at your very company where you would be happier and you could have a good attitude. That could be a great way to go. Or in some cases, you may just want to move on to the next company. I hope this has been helpful. Hopefully you understand the importance of having a good attitude. Don't let it impact your actions at work. Don't let it lead to sarcasm or outbursts or other things that can negatively impact your career or the type of day that others are having. And please follow these tips, and I hope it can help you on those days when you're not having such a good attitude.